What's going on, everybody? Addison here. Alongside me is Janice. Janice, what's happening?
Hello.
What's going on in Maine? The desert.
it kind of is the desert right now.
I'm sorry.
We were complaining because 16 weekends in a row, late spring, early summer, it rained. It was a washout, and I said this is going to be a great foraging season.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
I'm not. It's not in your face thing. It's just, you know.
But
I said it's.
I was wrong. Because we have had nothing but drought since. And mushrooms aren't growing. Flowers aren't growing. I went to my elderberry flower patch the other day. And not only did it look like I was driving a desert BMX club, course with my Hummer because
looking at this surrounding areas, all the trees are like begging for water, and
it was bad. The elderberry bush, the elderberry bush that and the trees that I were looking at, the leaves were browned and curled inwards.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. But there's a thing, think about how sweet those little berries are going to be when they ripe. When they get, because they're still going to ripen, but they're not going to get as big and juicy. They're going to be tiny, which makes it a lot easier to sun dry them because they're already part dried.
Well, do you think?
And it's going to be way easier to make your syrups and stuff with them.
Well, do you think it's going to kick in at some point, or you think it's getting late for the foraging year?
No, because it used to be we'd have, that 1 week that everybody used to refer to as Indian summer. Which
was last summer, actually, right?
We don't call it that anymore. Well, in Maine, peak forage season used to coincide with that. It was always the third weekend in September, and you could bet money on it for 40 years. Third week in September. Oh yeah, it's great.
Really?
Now it's a month ahead of that. So peak forage season doesn't even really hit until mid-October now.
So you say it's a month later or earlier?
Later.
Later, okay.
So yeah, and typically in Maine, as it's always been up here, as long as I'm alive. Although the internet thinks that I'm in my 40s, by the way.
There you go.
I'm actually 58.
Mm-hmm.
And so for all these years, for me, especially, being in the family that we're in, we will always typically have the first snowfall prior to Halloween, even if it's a dusting.
Interesting.
Okay? So, and that still happens, but we don't get the snow like we used to, 20 and 30 years ago.
That's what you're saying. So I'll give you the Pennsylvania update of the foraging season. It has been the best, arguably, season in 5-7 years. That's how long I've been doing it. So this is the best year I've had. I can't speak before. So it's weird. What do you think's going on? You think the weather? We've talked about this before, but do you think the wildfires have anything to do with it?
Nah.
You don't think it's pushing anything? We're not, weathermen, but
it's pushing smoke and cloud cover and things like that. That I agree with, but you got to think why the wildfires are burning in the first place. It's dry.
Yeah.
And look at what's happened in Nova Scotia and now New Brunswick.
Yep.
With the government has banned hiking and camping, and massive fees per person, $25,000 per person.
Yeah.
If you get caught, so Canadians. Rise against the machine. I'd like to see them fine everybody. It's not going to happen, And I like to see the rise. I like to see the anarchy when governments try to do something like that, because you know what they say.
It's unheard
right?
of. Yeah, it's unheard of. I've never heard of that in my small interest in foraging and hiking and camping, and for it to happen in Canada, it says a lot because they have a lot of.
Especially the Maritime.
Yeah, I don't want to get too political, but they have a
Yeah.
new whatever president, right? And that's his call.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. I'm sorry. So that was his call.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it was?
I think a lot of things.
Again, I don't want to get too political, but he's the newer guy. He shut it down. I mean, I guess he's worried about the wildfires, correct? So we'll see.
Yeah, because
what if one starts now?
That dry. Well, what they're actually telling people in the Maritimes, the reasoning why they don't want people out there hiking is because any spark, anything, could elicit a wildfire, and so they're ringing bells that they shouldn't ring.
Yeah.
Instead, how about dumping water by plane? Use ocean water if you have to. I don't care. There's plenty of lakes in those areas that they can get clean water, so it won't bother. So if you're that worried, then the government, instead of imposing fines on its people for doing what they should be able to do out in nature, which is enjoy it, especially in the Maritimes, because they got a lot of tourists that go to the Canadian Maritimes.
Yeah.
Hello, Anne of Green Gables.
I'm not familiar with the area, but that's your backyard, so you
It is. It's my bordering.
I mean, literally.
It's my bordering.
So
and yeah,
makes
because
me
I
nervous.
travel to Lubec a lot, and I like to go over to New Brunswick. I like to go to Campobello. By the way, everybody, go visit Campobello Island. Go visit Lubec.
Here's a hypothetical question. What if an American walks over there? $25,000 fine, no matter what.
Probably get deported. I don't know. That's a good question.
Probably just charged just like you would if you were in Canada and you did or any other country and broke their law. You'd get that in return. And I am not advocating Americans to go start hiking up there. Stay out of those woods.
I don't know.
It's not worth the money.
At present, there's an herbalist, not a clinical herbalist, everybody, an herbalist, that, a lot of people have listened to. He's doing this speaking tour, and he stopped here in Maine and stuff like that, and he just happened to be in New Brunswick when they smacked this down. And he according to him, he said that you can go to the beaches, but you just can't hike on trails.
What?
And yeah, so people are going to the beaches in New Brunswick, Cape Breton and all those areas, but they're not allowed to camp. They can't hunt. They can't fish. They can't do anything that might elicit a spark.
Yeah, but how is hiking gonna elicit a spark?
That's what everybody's saying. Everybody's coming up with these TikToks and stuff like that where they're hiking with their family, which we posted on our Practical Foragers Facebook group. I posted it, where a guy and his family, and he goes, "Yep, 125 grand right here. We're not listening, and we're walking. What's going to happen? Are sneakers going to light a fire?"
Well, he's brave because it sounds like he's got some money to spend.
No.
Or he's not in the actual...
in other words, the locals are rising, as they should, because the government's money, remember,
I think it's too far.
Canada's the UK, it's run by the UK, okay? So, we got a parliament there and all that other good stuff, but they're governed by the UK. So, instead of dealing with the solution, their solution is to hurt the people instead of spending the money to spray. I mean, we're talking New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
These are islands. It's not like it's the size of, Texas. It's not. So
small.
Yes.
Relatively.
And what's going to start happening is because listen, a lot of us that are original to Maine,
mm-hmm.
if you go back in your genealogy and your family's been here for several hundred years like ours has in New England, you will find that your ancestry will trace crossing over New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. Because we're not native here. Only Native Americans are native here.
Yeah.
So we all came from overseas, someplace. So to me, as somebody who's half Quebecois, that means I'm half French Canadian from Quebec province, I look at this as government making a really big reach to try to control its population. And when the government tries to control its population, what's next? There's your
exactly
right
what
there.
I was going to say. There's your...
Something's coming. We just don't know what. But this time of year is peak season for supercells. That does produce lightning. It can ignite fires. So that I can understand.
I think they're worried about humans.
I think instead of just watering it down, there's plenty of fire departments that can water trails. They can go out there once a day with those hoses, water them all down, and find a solution rather than tax. Make it hard for the people to enjoy.
There had to have been. There had to have been a less. Totalitarian way of controlling people. This is not hike. I mean, can't you put a shit ton of signs up, cameras up, stuff like that?
They have them.
Oh, I'm sure.
They got signs up everywhere that says no hiking.
I know people don't respect
a
good sign anymore, but
no.
That's a shame.
And because of tourism, there's a language barrier sometimes too. Even though New Brunswick, you're going to have more people, that parler français. They speak French there more than they speak English. Just like when I go up to northern Maine, like where I was last week up by the Allagash.
Yeah.
There's a language up there that we call Franglish.
Yeah, we have Spanglish.
Where you're talking and some words are in French and some words are in English and everybody understands either way, So, so there's a language barrier, for a lot of people because they don't understand the language. And that's one thing that herbalist was talking about. He goes, I'm in the beach, in the water. I've been in the water all day. Nobody else has been in the water with me. All I hear is people talking French, and I don't understand what they're saying. I'll tell you what they're saying. Gardez-le la foule. Look at that guy, the fool. He's gonna get a fine because he's in the water and he's hiking to get there.
25K. 25K Canadians more than 25K American, correct?
No.
Or is it the opposite? I thought it was the opposite.
It's right about now. It's like 4-1. It's like, okay. So if I were to exchange an American dollar right now,
well, if you were to exchange your $25,000 fine in America to Canada, what would it be?
I'm gonna guess
ballpark
like 12 to 15 grand. Well, maybe 12 to 15 grand US, depending on the exchange rate.
So it's cheaper if you go into the...
It is. If you pay it in American money,
yeah, all right. No, we're not trying to give people ideas.
No, but there's something that you have to take in account of that's going on in Canada and has been going on in Canada, especially in the provincial governments. They are highly taxed.
Oh, I know.
There is a province tax, there is a local tax, and there's a government tax.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's tough. We have a Commonwealth. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I used to live in one in Massachusetts, remember?
There's only a few of them, but yeah,
Massachusetts is a commonwealth.
Yeah, it basically means like the common people don't care if you and so get into a bar fight. The common people are you're still gonna get in trouble for that because the commoners don't want you acting a fool. So, growing up, all my friends and family in Maryland and Delaware, they never want to get in trouble in PA because you get in trouble with the commoners.
You get in trouble.
Yeah, you can't, like, if you get a bar fight in Delaware, both parties show up and go, hey, this was dumb, we're out of here. Delaware will go, bam, see ya. Pennsylvania go, no, no, no. You wait, and you'll sit there. But yeah, we're getting off topic. So Nova Scotia.
Well, the bottom line is that the Canadian people are already heavily taxed. A lot of people here in the U.S. don't know that. They think that Canadians have it easy.
I don't. I think they have it tough.
Canadians are American North in a lot of ways in terms of farming, the farmland that they have, the ranching that they do,
fishing industry.
And girl, yes. The fact that they're oppressing them, that's like what they started doing to U.S. farmers here, how they're trying to steal their land.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Domain. Like that farmer in New Jersey, that poor guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of farm issues going on. It's terrible.
They're relentless.
You know what else is hurting farming? Specifically in my area, and why my part of like southeastern Pennsylvania went from farmland to suburban area very quickly in the past 10 years or so, is the younger generation, people my age, they don't want to farm, dude. They're like done with it. They'd rather sell it and take the money. So that's what almost every single person does, is they hand their farm down, hand their land down, the younger generation takes it, they don't want to deal with it, they sell it, and kaput. That's it. So that's hurting our area, and it makes sense to do that because you could run this farm, and it could take you 5 years, 10 years to make what someone's offering you for that land off of what you might be growing. So I guess it's a lifestyle that people don't want anymore. I know a lot of farmers to this day that are small farmers, and they don't care about money. They want to own their land and own what they do. So that's why they do it. So they would never sell. Well,
that's one take on it.
But their kids, different story.
I'm going to give you a whole nother take, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Just in case everybody does it now. Addie's in Pennsylvania, and I'm currently in Maine.
Yeah.
So I have my Bluetooth headset in, my little earplugs that light up make me look like Terminator, and sometimes there's a lag. So I apologize to everybody because I know when I listen to podcasts, I hate hearing it.
Well, you're analyzing your own work, so that's what you're doing. I
am, but okay. So my take on why younger generations and America specifically in farming, aren't taking over. U.S. farmers I think they're the number one suicide rate right now.
Yeah, that too.
I was reading some literature.
That's business owners too.
Why are they dying? Why are they committing suicide? Because they are crushed by a mountain of debt.
Yep.
And GMO and big pharma. People, even big companies like Smithfield, that's owned by Chinese people, by the way. Stop buying Smithfield is all I can say, because it's Chinese. It's Chinese owned, and so you get these other hog farmers, families that have been doing it traditionally. They're getting priced right out of the market, just sheer volume. Farmers that are growing corn, families that have been growing corn for hundreds of years.
They said our corn's under attack too, so that's something I've been reading.
It is under attack.
So,
it is under attack.
Something I've been reading and seeing, and it was soy a little while ago. Now it's corn, American corn, because it's not just because we're eating it; we're using it for ethanol and everything. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And it produces more oxygen. When cornfields grow in the Midwest, they produce more oxygen than like all the forest or whatever the stat was. I didn't know that either. So that's important as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, the bigger picture is that big corporations are buying farmland.
Yep.
They're growing their modified seed sometimes in very close proximity to a farmer who may have been doing it for 200 years, his family, and he doesn't use GMO seeds. Guess what's happening?
They cross-pollinate, and then bam, you're done.
They cross-pollinate, and guess what? That GMO seed is a trademark-owned seed. And in the contracts and subsidiaries, any monies that they get from the feds and the contracts and all that other kind of stuff, if you grow our corn, we're going to sue you.
Yeah, and
that's ridiculous.
And
it's
suing
happening
is like,
naturally because of nature. Nobody's going and stealing their corn and planting their cornfields.
No, and like they could drive by a cornfield, right, and just release a bunch of pollen if they fucking wanted to, if they really wanted to. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how come the young kids aren't doing this. There's
multiple reasons. That's another reason.
Yeah, but that is a major reason. They're being crushed with mountains of
they're
death.
being killed. And that's just trying to grow crops. Imagine farms that are dealing with livestock and cattle and everything. That's a whole nother industry. But Jan, I'm gonna step aside for 1 second. I'm gonna hit pause. Okay, 5 more minutes until the big Facebook Live. Are you excited or what?
Well, I kind of am today, but wait a minute.
Why don't you explain the group to everybody listening?
I know. I'm excited. We'll see who joins in. I love doing Hangouts with you. You know that anyway.
Yeah, hanging out's fun with the group. Our group has grown 88,000% or something ridiculous. So we have a Facebook group for the listeners that aren't in it. We went from what would you say, around 300-400 people to 2,000, and then from 2,000 to 8,200 in 2 days, 3 days. So we're gonna have a bigger crowd this time. It looks like we have more people attending. I'm curious.
And we got over 1 million views on our Practical Foragers.
1 million people have viewed our Facebook posts. So that is a big number. So we're going to have an opportunity to hopefully reach more members today live. So we're just hanging out and not doing much. I'm hoping the conversation takes it away with some new members. But we'll see. We'll see what we want to talk about. I mean, ghost pipes on the menu. Your goldenrod's on the menu.
Yeah, goldenrod and fermented garlic.
It's gonna be funny when you talk about goldenrod so much when we haven't even really talked about it.
No, I don't talk about it. I think we'll talk about it when we go into the Facebook Live for sure. But for me, what I see happening, listen, I was, like I said, I'll wait a couple minutes to go into detail, but I got my own thoughts about why we're getting the traffic.
4:58, so we got 2 minutes cuts.
And I couldn't be happier because it means that mindsets are changing. Common sense is coming back to people. People are sick of all the scammers from Ghana and Indonesia and all these other countries. They're not American, and they're scamming people. It's deplorable the way that they're doing this.
Yeah.
And I think people are finally catching on, and common sense is coming back. The other thing is I'm kind of open sourcing.
Yeah.
With methods. And no one else is doing that. Everybody else lies.
Everybody else wants to tell you what you want to hear.
They want to give you minimum information because they're protecting their product, and that to me is deplorable. They don't want to tell people really how to make it because they want to keep selling it.
Yeah.
I'm making people feel like they're failures at it, telling them minimal amounts. But the reason why a lot of people tell them minimal amounts, is because they're bound by licenses and degrees. They can't. They don't want to tell people. They can't tell people how to do this. Whereas I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass. I really don't. And if you're doing this for personal gain, shame on you.
Shame.
And I love it when people, when the scammers say the thing, oh, it's just because you're selling it. No. I'm also teaching people how to make it, and they can do it on their own. No.
Yep, I've had many. I have many former customers now, and they all still thank me. But we're getting ready to go live. It is 5 p.m. You ready?
All right.
3,
Let's go. Let's rock
2, 1. What's up, everybody? We are live on Facebook. My name is Addison. Janice is with me via Facebook. So, what's going on, Jan? What happened to the group? We got like 8,200 people now. Went from small time to medium time.
Yeah, I think what did we have at the beginning of the week? I think it was like a little over 1,000 people, like 1,200.
I don't know.
Something like that. It was a small amount. And then I made some very informative Facebook posts.
You did?
That went viral.
You made 2 that went viral.
2 days in a row.
Congratulations.
They went viral. Thank you very much.
So what do you... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, like, you were kind of surprised by that, and so was I, because when we normally were posting, be like, you might get 200, 300 post reach. And then I'm, like, working, I'm, like, looking at this thing, I'm like, oh, my God, dude, she's up at, like, 25K views. And then I'm looking at it later, and she's got, like, what, 175K on your little garlic post? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I really don't.
So that being said,
Facebook is odd like that, because they kind of, once you get on that logarithm, when people start, they start sharing and it starts, raising up, because they don't really tell you what the formula is, and not that we're looking for one. That's the funny thing. You and I have never done this for personal gain. As a matter of fact, I'm even though I'm outgoing and I talk to people all the time and stuff like that, everybody has thought my entire life that I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
I can see
that. I'm an introvert, and I'm, very detail oriented. I like my own
I think you make
time.
insightful posts because you're really good at typing things out, and I've talked to you countless hours. I kind of hear it in your voice and hear you explain it, if that makes any sense at all. So
it doesn't. What are you talking about?
The way you word the way, the way you word things. So like as I'm reading it as if you were saying it. So it's like kind of cool. So I think you are good at writing them. You've had 2 really nice ones. So yeah. That being said, goldenrod. That's the number 1 topic. What do you got to say about it? Everyone wants to know.
Well, let's talk about goldenrod.
I'm just messing with you. I'm putting you on the spot.
I know. No. Listen.
It will be blooming soon. I don't have any flowers coming up yet, but soon.
It's blooming here. It's blooming up here in Maine. We're getting goldenrod.
Talk to us about Maine for a little bit, because I'm from Pennsylvania. You're from Maine. Harvesting seasons are a big difference right now. So.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this and be very, blunt, like I always am. I don't like to wait. I like to respect everybody's time, because I like my time respected.
Yes.
So I like to give what I get. So with that being said, I listen, God gave me this voice. Mm-hmm. And I have learned my whole life to speak at an octave so that people would take me seriously. And, so if I were to use my real voice without projecting, I sound like this. So, for me, it's vital especially now, especially in this moment, to be authentic, to be honest, and to make sure that everyone knows, what's going on, and so don't take my bluntness and, my respect for your time by being truthful, by thinking I'm snobby or I'm better than anybody. I'm not. I've been accused of it all, and I really don't give a flying what other people think about me. What matters is that I've got to go to sleep at night. So, and that's between me and God. So right now in Maine, we are experiencing an extreme drought. And it's crazy out here. The goldenrod is popping. And to be quite honest, I just figured, okay, let's I talk about mushrooms and their capabilities a lot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some other easy things, because some people are, and tried and true. And know this, I really think the reason why these have gone viral is because I put the recipes in there. And I'm speaking the truth when I put those in there. I don't sugarcoat it like all these herbalist certificates that you get from the same school, that the only reason that they're doing the school is because they also sell the tincture, and when times are low, this is a moneymaker to do the online certificates. And I want everybody to know that there is a distinct difference between an herbalist and a clinical herbalist.
Yeah.
Maddie, take it away. What's the difference?
An herbalist is self-declared, so anybody can be a herbalist in anything. And that's up to the consumer to judge if they're a good one or not. A clinical herbalist is someone who goes to school for it, and they have a certification, they can work with plants.
No,
am I
degree.
wrong?
They have an advanced degree.
Okay, an advanced degree.
So they've already gotten a bachelor's degree, kind of like going to school to be a doctor sometimes. You get an advanced degree to be a clinical herbalist. It allows you to open up a shop, see patients, things like that, and do it legally, Herbalist is like, who? Come on, Daddy.
My favorite astronaut, Katy Perry.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah,
Anybody
she's great.
can be an herbalist, like Katy Perry is an astronaut.
Yeah.
So I think we need to pound that home.
Yeah. If you have a rich husband, you're an herbalist.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We have a comment real quick from Megan. She talked to us about starting a spring gardening for dummies version. So
yeah, Megan, hi, honey.
That would be your forte.
Megan is a newly flatlander. That's what we call people that come from away. Another term that we use in Maine, if you're not born here. Okay.
Flatlander.
Megan comes from a nice, warm southern state, and she has really done a lot of good stuff. She's, her and her spouse, they're actually cultivating lion's mane. They are very involved with the Stockholm sovereign market. So if anybody is in that area, look up the Stockholm, spelled just like in Sweden, the sovereign market. They meet once a week. She does baked goods, all kinds of stuff. Megan happens to be here at one of the biggest droughts ever. So I am very glad that she's got the mushroom thing going, because that'll help sustain their farm.
Yeah.
It really will, and I'm tickled pink that they're doing it too, because I focus on heavy medicinals found in nature, okay, which are turkey tail, reishi, and ghost pipe, okay. Lion's mane is essential if you've got MS, if you have, even Parkinson's, okay, but with MS specifically. And they're cultivating it, they're turning it into a powder, they're selling it at the sovereign market. I don't sell it. So, Megan, you need to put a post up on our Past Practical Foragers page, because people do ask me for it.
Yeah, do it.
And I will only refer to, on our page specifically. It's not going to be like all these other forums. I am not letting people in here with sales pitches. You got something to sell, send it to Addie or I. We'll look at it. Tell us what your process is. If you're if you live in the state of Maine, New Hampshire, or even Connecticut, I will visit where you make this. And I will see how your process is. I want to see how everything is. I want a cleanliness, the whole 9 yards. I want to view everything before I even push it. And Megan's a great one to have on her page, because people ask me for lion's mane a lot. Lion's mane is one of those things that it's not easily found in nature.
No, it's really not.
Reishi isn't either. But
not around here.
No, but I always find a mother load of reishi every year because of all the traveling.
You've already found more reishi than I have, and I've been, looking for it hardcore. So you got me there, Jen. You're winning you're winning the reishi competition hard.
Dude, I picked up that reishi that was bigger than my head.
I know. There's no way I'm competing with that.
And it was prime. It wasn't even, it was beautiful, and that is all due in part to the weather. Yeah. Because it has been so dry. They pop later. And, it was wonderful to catch up. But lion's mane is one of those. But anyways, I digress. Megan, she's got to get some crops in and stuff like that. Megan, the best thing for you to put in the ground right now, I made a post on the Practical Foragers page. Beets, radishes, those cold hardy crops, spinach even, look and start growing them. You're going to have to water them. But beets, I went and picked my beets for my Amish farmer, Rebecca, just this past weekend. And when I was picking them, they were just coming out of like dust. They were growing like crazy, and they don't water. And so my favorite beets, the little baby beet greens with the little tiny beets on them, those are my favorite. And she grows like almost half an acre just for me because I eat so much of it. But Megan, that's the way to start. And get your garlic in. Find your varieties that you want to get in. Plant those cold hardy crops. Cover them with hay to protect them through the winter. And lo and behold, in spring, and a really great crop to grow, which I always love growing every year, is an onion that they call, commonly known as the Egyptian walking onion. And I'm sure Megan knows what that is. It's a perennial. It'll come back every year, and the heads of them, will get weighed down by their flower and their seed pods. And when they do, they kind of like flop over. They replant themselves, Megan. They're wonderful. There's really nothing you got to do. Your patch will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So those kind of things. And Megan, I got to get down to come see you. And I got to get my eyes on it to help you, decide what might be good for your area. But you're a farmer. You got good intuition at this. Get your garlic in, get your cold hardy crops. You got this, and I got you. So, there's my.
That's your spring garden take.
Yeah, because it's dry, and she needs to keep up with the mushrooms for sure.
Yeah. So you're in I'm in the Maine group too, and you're in the Pennsylvania mushroom group, and we've been kind of like spying on each other's areas, dude. Like everybody in Maine is saying the same thing you're saying. Totally dry.
Yeah, it really is.
Pennsylvania, it's like crazy good. So I don't know what's happening with the weather, but it's not really, the rain's hasn't been like, the storms aren't hitting you as much.
Yeah.
I guess.
Listen, I'm reading that Jay has a question. Jay says, what can someone just starting out forage for? I think he meant forage for. Also wanting to make herbal garden, medicinal, and tea garden. What do I start with?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. That is a good question. And this is how that question should always be answered. What is your goal? Why do you want to do it? What do you want to focus on in your body system? what are you being called, to help fix? Do you want it just for soothing? Do you want it for medicinal? Is there something going on that you want to,
or is it a hobby?
Be able to focus on? Yeah, or is it just, it just,
I started out as a hobbyist, learning survival skills while I was camping, and I started with identifying plants, not eating them or anything yet, or using them medicinally, but learning how to identify the, easy ones. That's where I would start.
But Jay, go ahead and tell us, Jay, what if there's something specific that you want, so I can adequately give you an answer, or point you in a direction, because we are here to help you. And I want to make sure that I validate that we're here to help you. So go ahead and text back to let us know. There's lots of great things that you can grow. Mushrooms are pretty easy. In terms of getting some quick medicinals, and I know that everybody is afraid of mushrooms. Mycology has gotten a bad rap for a lot of reasons. I want people to withhold. Don't go into that fight or flight, okay, and lock down and say, I just can't do it, it's too hard. Don't do the short arm syndrome thing.
Yeah.
Remember your stock. Remember where you came from.
Yep.
All of us had great-grandparents. Some of us had grandparents, and goes back even farther, where we come from other countries, even here, okay, after we've established here, after we became a country, where foraging is how people ate.
Yep.
It's innate in a lot of people, so I don't want people to be afraid of mushrooms. It's okay to learn about it, ask your questions, and I know that I've been at this a long time, so just like there are plant-phobic people, that spread plant phobia, where they try to get you scared about certain plants, there are a thing in mycology that I dub, mycophiles. They spread mycophobia. And I don't want people being afraid. So Jay wrote back, he or she needs something for inflammation and immunity. Inflammation, listen, I don't mess around. I focus on heavy medicinal. And the best thing for inflammation and immunity are two mushrooms, turkey tail and reishi. And
especially immunity.
Yeah, they are full of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory.
Your immune system will thank you for taking turkey tail specifically, but.
Oh yeah, and reishi,
for sure.
Especially your liver will love you for reishi.
Your liver will love you for reishi.
The mood stabilizer, yeah.
And then respiratory, does that mean like lungs and whatnot? Because there's other stuff for that.
It means that taking reishi will almost will greatly diminish someone's hay fever, spring. When those seasonal allergies, you just won't get them.
Yeah,
that's just how it works.
I'll give you an example. My fiance, she started taking turkey tail and reishi. What would you say? Maybe 6-7 months ago. Dude, she had allergies. Yeah. She had allergies real bad.
Because I think
not
I
anymore.
The new tincture.
She might get a little sniffle here and there, but that's about it.
And
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, she was sick a lot.
And then once you
gotta start taking these tinctures.
Once you stop taking the tinctures, then you realize what they do as well. So like sometimes you'll start taking them, you're like, oh, this ain't doing much. The second you stop, you're like, dude, like what's wrong? So that's how she is. She can't run out anymore. There's no way.
No, she can't.
But for Jay, turkey tail would be a good mushroom to start foraging for.
They're also looking for something for respiratory. So respiratory, how is it? It's hard to breathe because mullein is great for that. You can burn the actual mullein leaf. A lot of people turn them into like smudge sticks, kind of. And they wrap them with cords now. That's pretty cool.
I've seen that. Yeah, mullein plant.
Yeah, mullein. And mullein is, and maybe that's what I'll make the next post on.
Dave makes mullein plant remedies. Actually, David, he commented earlier. He makes. I think he says he used tinctures, but he uses it for his lung health, I believe. So
David
pop back
David
in.
uses it. And you can turn it into an iced tea by steeping it. You can drink it as a hot tea. You can turn it into a tincture. You know, tinctures are always going to be the powerhouse and the most medicinal with medicinals from mushrooms or from plants. And so you take very little and you get like a full benefit. Some people don't, prefer not to take tinctures, but like for kids that have upper respiratory infections, the chest is all full up, bronchitis, whatever, the easiest way to do it, and I'm sure most of you guys will remember this, is croup. When people have the croup, what do? They go into a small little bathroom, they close the door, and they get that hot water running because the steam gets into their lungs, right? That's great. It gets into those membranes in there. It opens up the alveolar, and everybody's able to breathe and cough stuff up. All you got to do is bring one of those dried mullein leaves in there. Yeah. Fire that up on a pie plate. Put it
kind of
someplace
like
where it's not
how people
anything.
use eucalyptus in showers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Same way, right?
Absolutely. And you breathe it in passively, and it will clear the lung passages. So, like I collect, of course I collect mullein, but I do it, for my own stuff. It's not like I make it for people. But this year I made, I did an oxalate with mullein. I did an acetyl. I did it with an apple cider vinegar too, because my little Henry, my grandson, he tends to catch a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so, and this is, I left down with his father, my son, so that when he gets ill, he can take that. But a smudge stick to me is always the quickest one, is to go ahead and do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he asked.
So there's the respiratory.
Yeah, Jay asked, can you grow or forage them? I'm assuming he means turkey tail and reishi. So foraging would be your best bet, correct?
Yeah, foraging. So here's the difference. You can buy those grow bags. You can, there's a company here in Maine called North Spore. I don't get paid by them, so don't think I'm just blowing them out of the water or nothing, because I'm not.
They're a great company. I'll back you on that one.
But their customer service is unbelievable. But so if you got questions, you can call them, that kind of stuff. But they sell grow box, and you can even get their stuff in Target. Target and Walmart are selling growth boxes. You could do that. However, when you do that, that is called a cultivated mushroom. That means that it's not out in the natural environment. It's not attached to the tree, the substrate that it normally is, where it really, where the magic is happening. But also, people that do cultivate, and I'm sure Megan does this too, it's vital that you have natural sunlight, because you want that mushroom to get natural sunlight in order to increase the vitamin D3 synthesis that needs to happen, that creates all those wonderful medicinals, especially the beta-glucan, that our bodies need, that are nice and soluble for our bodies. So cultivated, great. They're going to be less medicinal. The ones that are wild forage are the top part for being medicinal.
Yeah.
So yes, you have to go out and forage. You have to find it. I will tell you, Jay, that you can buy mullein seeds. Mullein is kind of invasive around North America, and you'll see it grow on roadsides and things like that.
Yeah, you'll see like a real big one once in a while too. You're like, damn, that's a big old one. You ever see that?
Yeah, because they have first years.
They get huge,
years.
man. They get huge.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And listen, I know that I've joked about this before in past podcasts, but mullein leaves, they're kind of unmistakable, because they're really big. They can get really big, and they're velvety. They have hairs on both sides. I say velvety to be nice, because it's a description that everybody will understand. When I say
it feels soft, I guess you would say.
But what I will say is a lot of people, and I refer to it as cowboy toilet paper. Okay, so, there's a saying out there, and I think it's meant to make fun of people, really, because if you wipe your hiney or your netherlands out there, if you don't bring paper with you and you don't want to drip dry or something like that, let me tell you, you are going to be in a world of hurt, because those little hairs are irritants. And in that nice peritoneum area, that's nice and moist and probably wet and everything else because you're hiking, you do that, you're going to be suffering for it later on. So don't use it as toilet paper. Please don't. But you collect the leaves, and the first years
it is
won't
not
have
toilet
those.
paper.
Yeah, it's not toilet paper. But they can be big. But the first year just looks like a beautiful, voluminous, leafy thing that's on the ground. It's not going to have the stalk. It's not going to have that flower stalk. The flower stalk will happen the second year. And so, and you can induce more blooms and induce that mullein. And a lot of people don't know this, but David probably does. David said his first year developed a pistil and it's huge. David, mullein is a flower. It's a plant. So you can cut off that stalk, and guess what? And if you do it early enough in the year, as it starts to grow, it'll grow more. Isn't that funny? So you can induce it you can manipulate nature. That's what us gardeners do. Not always, but most times, yeah, you can get it to grow a couple other stalks. But Jay, you can buy mullein seeds if you can't find them. Just throw them in the ground. Just do, what do they call that? Chaotic gardening. Just throw them. They'll take. And you might be mad that you did because they'll really take off. Birds like eating them, but they're a great pollinator as well. When I go to collect, some of the mullein flowers and the seeds and stuff, I'm always finding all kinds of little bugs.
Mullein tea is good for reducing coughing, loosening mucus, asthma, and respiratory conditions. So that might be something super easy for you to forage if you're just starting out and trying to identify things, because this plant will have its bloom on it. It will have its yellow bloom. It will have its green flowers. It should be pretty easy to, as a first-time forage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and Jay, I see the last name is K. So I don't know if that's a pseudonym you're using because you said you're from Canada, so I'm going to assume Quebec or that you're Quebecois. I don't know. But these grow prolifically in Quebec region as well. Mullein does. And you'll see them on the side of the road. Now, a lot of people will tell you, don't harvest it because if it's next to the power line, they spray it with chemicals. I've never seen any power line company spray any power lines or areas where I live. It just doesn't happen. And if it was that toxic, the plant wouldn't grow. It would kill it. It doesn't. The plant comes back. The plant is a survivor. So keep things in mind. Do your deep dives. Always rinse off, in the sink. Mulleins are great to just take a hose and just hose them down, and then you can air dry them. Always try to air dry and sun dry anything that you forage to increase the vitamin D3 synthesis to really pack that punch. And I tell everybody all the time, I know people use dehydrators, but heat, even in dehydrators at lowest setting, heat is what we call in chemistry a catalyst. Catalyst, heat, denatures proteins. Ta-ding! Can you do it? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Time is of the essence. You don't have the time. I'm just going to go put it in the dehydrator. But I want you to know when you do that, if you're trying to make a therapeutic grade tincture with mullein, you're better off doing it in the sun to get the maximum amount to dry off. If you do it in a dehydrator, you're going to lose a good chunk of percentage because it's desiccated. And a lot of people equate making tinctures with food preservation, and they think dehydration, it makes things sweeter. Oh, it must really concentrate the medicinal. No. two totally different things. We're talking chemistry when you're doing tinctures. And we're not preserving food. So what we want to do is preserve the optimal medicinals by adding the least amount of catalyst as possible to get the optimal medicinals. So there's my think on that. Ding, ding. You're very welcome, Jay. We're happy to help. And David loves his mullein. And Megan uses a freeze dryer. Freeze dryers are pretty good. They really are in retaining a lot of things. And, so it's good for her doing the lion's mane and things like that. Lion's mane is a very wet mushroom, extremely wet. And it's known when you put it in a dehydrator, I get a lot of calls on this. People will say, well, I tried to make that lion's mane tincture you told me about. Here's a picture. Is this okay? My lion's mane turned brown and black. That, it does happen. And
I've never made a lion's mane tincture, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. When you tincture, just use fresh. Use fresh.
They're hard to find where I'm at. I mean, I have a close friend of mine, and here in Pennsylvania, in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, it's a mushroom capital of the world, okay? So they're farming a lot of lion's mane. He's like, you got to get down here, take some pictures, and blah, blah, blah for your group if you want. So I keep downplaying it, but he's telling me, I mean, they have warehouses of it, so we'll go see. One day I'll take a trip to see the lion's mane, take a trip to the lion's den. But he says they reverted all their mushroom growing equipment and facilities, everything, to lion's mane. I mean, all of it. And he's got a lot of areas and knows how to grow a ton of different fungi, and lion's mane takes a cake. He says it's all people want right now.
Lion's mane is the only thing known.
That's what he's saying.
And it's true. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Is the only thing known that we know of, okay, on the planet that remyelinates the nerve axon sheath. What does that mean? Multiple sclerosis, MS. Let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Your nerves have these axons, like these little fingers. It looks like alien way, and then it has dendrites and all that kind of stuff. Along those long fingery things, they have these little round concentric like cushions that are concentric circles, how they wrap around the nerve axons. Those are called insulators. So if my brain is telling my arm to move, I don't have to tell it. I just think it. It just starts moving because I've got great nerve axons. They're protected with that myelin sheath.
Yeah.
MS is a result of the myelin sheath disintegrating and just goes away. That's why the nervous system, they're not being told what to do. They're not able to get the signals. Lion's mane, the only thing that is known to remyelinate those nerve axons.
Interesting.
So Parkinson's, MS, other neurological disorders, tremors, things like that. Farmers that, get a lot of tremors later on in life because they were working with a lot of pesticides, glyphosate being a big one. They'll develop tremors and stuff like that. They should definitely be taking lion's mane, without a doubt. It increases your memory, your cognitive functions, your recall's better. You won't have brain fog. But that's only one mushroom that does that.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's easy for people to learn one at a time, right? And turkey tail and reishi is something that can be incorporated with all that. They work wonderful together, as well as with the ghost pipe. All four of those, in my opinion, work really well in harmony, and they really help each other reinforce everything. So those are my top ones. And cordyceps mushrooms, those are good too. But do your deep dives. Don't be afraid of mushrooms. Everything that we need is here. It's free. It's available to nature. And I think the reason why those posts have gone wild, is because I'm open sourcing. I'm telling people exactly how to make it, and I'm not pussyfooting around because I respect everybody's time. There are a lot of people that are doing this with 100 proof. Doesn't have enough power, okay? You're using live mushrooms, live plants. You need some supercharged solvent.
Break it down.
And that's right. You use a high proof solvent, and that is the definition of a tincture. A tincture is made with a high proof solvent. Is it made to be, oh yeah, just use whatever I have? No. This is chemistry.
Let's talk.
If you want to have, let's talk what?
Let's just go back. I want to go. This tincture talk is funny because we have it so many times, right? Let's go back in time, all right? Let's close our eyes and let's go back to what, 1800 or something like that? Where tinctures were first invented and made for the first time and used. And then a standard came out back then. That's still. Go ahead, take it away. I want to go back.
Are you okay? First of all, let me correct you
because everybody's trying to change the wheel with tinctures and change the way it's done, dude. It's been done it just got lost, and now we're finding it again. You know, it's something that got lost. We're trying to do it again. And there's a lot of different ways that are just unnecessary. So go ahead. I just want to start from square one. Tincture making.
We're bringing sexy back, everybody.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
The old way is the best way.
We're bringing sexy back.
I don't know about that. I'm definitely not, but maybe you. I'm not.
We're bringing sexy back.
We're bringing old tincture methods back.
Yeah, it's called the folk method.
Yes.
Okay, and my family brought the folk method over here, so I'm pretty well versed in it. But it's been going. It didn't just start in the 1890s. Okay, tinctures have been made for millennia. Okay, in Asia, Native Americans. Yeah. My family's definitely been doing it since before the 1100s. Yes, that long. That's what's great about having a great genetic line. It's very well documented. So tinctures have always been around. And it's always been made, folk method, with high-proof alcohol.
Yes.
They use brandies, they use meads, they used all kinds of stuff to withdraw it. Not for the taste, everyone. Even they knew back in, the 1100s or the 1500s, the 1600s, we knew that we needed something to withdraw because the stronger the alcohol, the quicker somebody heals. It's that simple. So tinctures, by definition, are made with high-proof alcohol.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people have gotten those herbal certificates, and they want to say, I'm an herbalist, I'm certified. Yeah, they lied to you. Okay.
There's no certificates in 1890. Yeah. And if you made it wrong back then, this is where I wanted to get to too with tincture making, like what led to tinctures going away during that time and afterwards, right? Big pharma.
Well, yeah, a lot of things.
Witch hunts and all sorts of crazy shit, right?
Rockefellers, Carnegies, all those guys happened.
So they took us all off of learning how to make our own remedies and stuff, right? And now we're trying to grab it back from them. At least the past 4 or 5 years, people have been since 2020, people have been really trying to get back to their own home.
Lockdown.
Yeah, people have been wanting to get back to their spiritual, healthy ways. So making remedies is
it's
one
because
thing.
of the lockdown. Nobody trusts pharma. Nobody trusts the government because
I don't think anybody trusted them before. That was just like all right, here's
that was the nail in the coffin right there.
Bam. Yeah, I'm working retail, so that whole time. But nature. It's funny. It's been there the whole time. It's something that, like tincture making and homesteading, right? It went away. In a way, it got taken away, but people are just dying to go back for it. So that's awesome. What do you think?
Okay. So I'm gonna make a comment.
I'm all over the place. So go ahead.
They used to have this thing on the late night show that our studio hall stars. Things that make you go, So let's do things that make you go, when you buy these herbalist books, and things like that, a lot of them are AI generated, by the way.
A lot of them are, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go into ChatGPT and say, type me out a 100-page outline about how to make such and such and such book, and it will print you out a complete outline. And it'll say, how many pictures do you want? And you say 70, and then we'll give you a new outline for all your pictures. Dude, if I ever made a book, it's going to be real hard because that makes it so easy.
We're doing it the old-fashioned way.
We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to write it. Yeah. Oh, my God, dude. If you did, that would sell.
Yeah, but I don't have the time. Maybe this winter we'll pen something up.
Yeah, I'll be.
But and maybe I'll include some of my, my family recipes that go back a few hundred years.
Hey, that'd be cool.
You never know. But a lot of these books that you buy, you notice that they say, okay, go ahead and tincture, high-proof alcohol, and then right after they put the high-proof alcohol, 100 proof is okay. No, it's not. They're already dumbing it down, thinking that, that people aren't capable, they're not smart enough to figure this out. And people take it and they run with it. If you are going to tincturing live plants, live mushrooms is a great way to go. Freeze drying like Megan does, it retains a lot of their nutritional value. So you can freeze dry those limeanes and then dunk them in high-proof alcohol. Routinely, and another thing that people will say, but I'll get to that in a second, routinely 190 proof or higher is used.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's the benefit of that. You use 190 proof or higher, and you're using live material, you can cut that curing time literally in half. No more 6 to 8 weeks. It's done in under 3. It's done in under 3. You can start dosing. So, I'm all about being practical, and if people are making a medicinal, they need it now. And do I sell tinctures? Yes. Therapeutic grade tinctures? Absolutely. And that'll hold you over because somebody can get, if somebody takes one of my turkey tail, my reishi, or a ghost pipe, they're going to, at least there's your guideline right there. So when you do make yours, wait a minute, was this the color that Janice's was? Is this how Addie and her made this? No, the color's a little bit off. You perfect it. It's called the healing arts for a reason. It's an art, and you perfect it. It's calling to do this, by the way, people. It is definitely calling in our family. So use 190 proof or higher. And if I hear somebody whine one more time, I can't get it in my state. Listen, I understand when you go to the liquor store, some states can't legally sell that in the liquor store. Here's the trick, okay? It is not called alcohol when you purchase it online. It is called food-grade ethanol. 190 proof or higher. You'll find it 200 proof or higher. You can buy it online at Amazon. You can buy it online at Walmart. Addie's done that this year. But there are a ton of lab suppliers, and I'm not gonna pump a lab because I want people to do their research. You can buy it online. You have it shipped right to your house. You don't need a special certificate. Even if your state outlaws it, that's at a state level for alcohol sales. There's the difference. This is not about buying high-proof alcohol, a teenager trying to supply a party to spike, watermelon. That's not what's going on. This is tincture making. It's chemistry. It's way different. It is not food preservation at all, even though it says food grade. They come in different types of, they got kosher, they have organic.
I recommend sugarcane, so.
Halal, they have halal, they got everything you could get. And so I know it's more expensive. Absolutely it's more expensive. It should be more expensive because it is top notch when you want to withdraw the optimal medicinal so that you can get that power punch and you can get your stuff done in half the time. Can you do it in 151 Everclear?
Yes.
Megan uses Everclear. absolutely you can use 151 Epic.
Yep.
Okay. Is it going to capture all of them, like 190 would? No, it'll probably miss a small percentage. And the difference is that you're going to cure it. You're going to adjust the curing time. So instead of cutting the normal 6 to 8 weeks to like 3 to 4, you're going to add. I would suggest adding a couple more weeks to that. And there is where I would agree. Yeah, go ahead. Do it for 6 to 8 weeks. You know, because just let it sit because it's got the power to withdraw. Lower proofs plateau. They can't pull it. They can only pull so much. It's like getting a pony to pull weights at those pulls that everybody sees at the time. It's like getting a miniature pony.
It's like, here, I got a good one. It's like putting like 87 gas, octane inside of your premium gas tank you need. It's just 80 proof, 100 proof. It's not going to work.
It's going to peter out. It's not going to start. So...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm tired of beating that dead horse, man.
I know, but we've got a lot of new members, and it's okay. Important to talk about. It really is. Because you want to have those high-proof alcohols, okay? If somebody's telling you otherwise, question it. Do your deep dive.
If they're saying 80 works, 100 works for me, this and that, that's... I'm not, twisting your arm to change your method. All I'm saying is what works for us. And we go back to, I go to you, Jen, because I was doing things on my own and I adjusted just 2 or 3 little things that you recommended, and I was like, damn, dude, like, thank you very much for that information. So
see, I brought your sexy back.
Yeah, so
I brought your sexy back. You and Jen are nice and healthy. Jen's not sick all the time. You're not sick all the time. You guys are sleeping good at night. You're waking up in the morning. You don't have any brain fog. You guys, I mean, you're.
I have brain fog no matter what, man. It's so hard to get. I'm gonna need all of Megan's lion's mane to get rid of mine. It's so bad. I got so much going on at times. Jay asked another question. I'm not gonna know the answer to this, but I'll read it. Let's test our.
Go ahead.
I have made oil of oregano 2 years in a row. Oregano is very strong to eat. I put it in olive oil, left it for 6 weeks, and the oil doesn't taste like oregano. What am I doing wrong? That was a tongue twister. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Jay, listen. What kind of olive oil are you using? Number one. There's a lot of olive oil out there that is fake. It is faux. You have to look at the label, and you'll find out Macedonia, Turkey, Greece. They're taking all this stuff, and you have to have. I would suggest using local. As local as you can get to your area. Olive oil that's organic. Research where you get it from, because that could be one of the problems. The other thing is there's a big difference between using live fresh oregano versus dry. Okay? When you dry, herbs, you are going to conservatively lose, now, 70% of the optimal medicinals. Okay, why? Because you dried it, you desiccated that plant. And the water contained in those live plants housed all those medicinals. So, but dried has its lane. Dried is good for teas, bombs, infusions, elixirs, and it's really good with oils too, believe it or not. It's encouraged to use dried material. If you're going to do oil of oregano, you can use live. I use live when I do my basil oil, okay? And a lot of people say, oh, no, it'll get all moldy. And, yes, will it do that? Yeah, if I leave it in my cupboard 6 months and I don't use it. I
was going to say, how long does it take to get moldy before you use it, right?
Yeah, it takes a while, but the reason why mold and that oxidation happens is because the plant material is not covered enough. It's got to be completely submerged in the oil, okay?
Yeah.
So you put the oil to cover, and because Jay's oregano oil, well, he said, I used fresh last year and I dried it this year, so I think it may be the oil. It may be the oil.
Maybe.
Jay. And most likely is the culprit, to be quite honest with you. But I'm so glad that you asked this, because so many people try to do this at home based off of this platform, or they heard it here, they heard it there, and then they fail and it stalls them. They think they can't do it. So bravo. Bravo, Jay, for keeping going. And because this is how you perfect the art. This is how you do it. You can infuse vinegars with oregano, any kind of herbs. You can even do it with lavender, for crying out loud. And it comes out great. But I encourage you. And then wherever you store it, okay, it cannot be in direct sunlight. It can't be near a heat source. Keep it in a cabinet. Keep it, the door closed to the cabinet, because that also affects the medicinals, and it also affects the preservation. It'll degrade quicker. So I know you can do it, Jay. Jay's like, I can do it. Yeah, you can. And you know what, Jay? Don't worry. I know you can do it, because
I have faith in you, Jay.
I have faith. Yeah, I know you can do this, and it's perfecting your art. And as you get better at it, you're gonna. It's like a whole new world opens up. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I was spending money for this stuff when I can just go out in the woods or grow an herb garden and make it myself. And that's where the American farmer kicks in. That's why we're so reliant. We are extremely self-reliant.
The art of self-reliance.
Yes, the art of self-reliance. And, I'm half Quebecois. My family is farmers and all those kind of things. And so I've got it from both sides of my family. I love being self-reliant. I always tell stories about my Uncle Henry, but he was the most brilliant engineer that never went past the third grade, ever. If a car broke down, and it did for him, he told me this story one time, how he was driving up in the Allagash, and his axle broke, and it was a back logging road that he had planned. So he was really out there in the Willywackers. The only thing he had was some garden hose that was in the back of the truck, and he had a torch. He had heat. He had a lighter. He Jimmy rigged that truck with nothing but a garden hose, and it got him 50 miles to where he got up to the next to Jackman a little bit by Greenville, where he could get to a Napa. Did he go slow and stuff? Yeah. So self-reliance is vital. You don't give up. In other words,
give up.
At least Mainers, we just don't give up. And Jay, I'm glad that you found us too. I really am, and I hope other people feel that way as well.
Yeah. Welcome to the group, Jay. If you're new.
Yay, Jay's here. So these posts that I'm going to be putting out, and from here on forward, because everybody likes them, and I want to make sure that everybody understands my ethos, and that I'm completely that there's clarity here. Okay, do you see me in a lot of forums? Absolutely, because I'm sick and tired of people spending thousands of dollars a year, sometimes in a month, buying all these crazy herbal stuff that's out there, when you don't need to do that. You don't need to staff. You don't need to do anything like that. You just need to hear the truth from somebody. And I am more than happy to be the truth slayer over here. That I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows the truth about things and be blunt about it and break it down. And I will always, and this is my favorite term, isn't it, Addie? Just because you can, doesn't mean you should. So I know that there's a lot of conflicting information on there.
Yeah.
And, but my bottom line is that you're healthy, that you're safe, and that you're getting the most optimal medicinals, and that everybody understands the differences, and that it's not just hearsay. Well, I heard. Yeah, well, I heard that, I was the queen's niece and she was leaving me everything. It doesn't mean it's true. Okay. So, I want to encourage everybody to do their deep dives. A lot of it will include, some medical studies, because it's important. There's a lot of people out there that do view this as chemistry, as I do, and not as food preservation. So it's a good way to blend it all. I'm going to give you common uses, the name, the folk uses. I'm going to break down some biochemistry for you about the plant, maybe include some links for that. And then I'm going to take it further. I'm going to tell you what you can do with it. And I'm going to tell you the truth about how to tincture. I am going to tell you the truth about how to make acetals or oxymels or infusions or anything else. And before I let this subject go, okay, anything less than 151 proof in usage, and I'm being dead straight here. When you're tincturing, that 190 proof that someone may use at the end of a cure, especially with live plants, okay, that contain a lot of water, all right, anything live, it's no longer 190 proof, y'all. It's maybe 124-ish, and that's on a good day. 124, 130, that's what it ends up being at the end. Why? That's why you don't dilute your tinctures. All these crazy things out there, and I know a lot of the herbal academies and certificate programs, they started that because they want to make it more difficult. You got to measure this, only put this per gram per how many ounces. No. Folk method, throw all that stuff right out the window.
The old folk method.
Jar. Yes.
Don't argue with your grandfathers, I say. They know it.
Listen,
they've been doing it.
Folk method, the folk method is what established all the other methods out there. So think of it this way. When you start doing percentages and people tell you, you can't use that proof, it'll burn. Yeah, that's never happened. I'd like to see a tincture burn inside of alcohol. That would be one hell of a house fire and an explosion.
I know. My house would explode years and years ago. Many a times it was burning.
So you adjust your curing times. That's all. It's not necessary to cure something.
Yeah.
For 8 weeks if you're using 190. Can you? Absolutely. You can do that with mushrooms. I do it with reishi and turkey. I just let it sit. I don't automatically decant it. I'm gonna strain it and turn it in when I do decoctions, and we'll talk about dual tincturing the next time we do a live, because we're running out of time now, and I'll go ahead and I'll walk everybody through how to do dual tinctures, so you can increase the water solubles and you can increase the medicinals, and I'll even go over ratios with everybody so that you guys can all do it, because turkey tail is a phenomenal mushroom, especially going into the winter months. You want to get your immune system up so you don't get sick. Reishi, they just work excellent together.
Turkey tail is a good beginner mushroom to forage and work with too. So that would be my recommendation. We have about 3 minutes left or so. So yeah, welcome everybody who's new. Everybody who's been here for a while. Thank you. David's kind of like the OG now, man. How do you feel, David? He's been around. Him and Megan. Megan's the OG too. All right.
And Sarah. Listen, Sarah's not here right now, but I know Sarah's going to be listening later. Sarah,
so thanks for hanging tight with us, man. And women.
Absolutely. and I do want to say this. Listen, I feel extremely blessed that everyone is paying attention, that people are starting to question some or the methods that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say this. I want to validate everyone who has felt that they've been made to feel crazy by going to a doctor, and the doctor just keeps pumping them with more and more and more meds to get more and more problems. You were right. There is something different. And in this life that I walk, in this skin sack that I'm in this lifetime, I will tell you, for me, it is a blessing. It is my pleasure that I am able to take even a small portion or a part of your healing, the road and the art that you're going to develop. It is an extreme honor for me to become part of your story. I get choked up every time I say that. I don't know why.
Hey, they're happy to have you.
I honestly do. I think, like I said, I like to sleep at night, and I like everybody, all the little duckies to be in a row, and it's nice. And but that is my ethos. My ethos is to be of service. It is the most noblest thing you can do. It's just like Kennedy said.
Well, you are making a difference, Jen. I want you to know you are making a difference, and you've helped me personally. So I'll say that publicly, like I have before. And hey, thank you for me, to everybody. You just helped, new member named Jay. This is what you're good at. So now you get to do it. Simple as that.
I do, and I get to do it on a very public stage, which can be kind of intimidating because I just call myself an old broad that lives in Maine. I've got a fancy lineage, but
Hey, you and I are normal people, and we remind each other of that every day. You're not the expert. I'm not the expert. We run a good Facebook group. We have a good social media outlet now for authentic information, and that's what we're here for. So everybody that's joined in, these conversations are longer than just 1 hour. So we go on for maybe 30 or 40 minutes before going live, and all these videos hit YouTube or Spotify about a week later. So that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Janice, thank you again. So I appreciate you taking your time out.
It's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. And Addie, kudos to you.
Hey, thank you.
Because to do something like this at an age that you are, it is commendable. And I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. And, like I said earlier, to work in the healing arts, it is a calling. And Addie, you were called.
I am.
So I feel blessed to be able to be part of your story. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and Megan, we love you too. We love all you guys. I like to think of everybody that is on the page as family. Sometimes there's a few kids that may need a spanking, but as a whole, I love my community, and I love our very loyal listeners that have been there from the get-go, and I couldn't feel more blessed. And Megan, you're part of that crowd. So I'm going to have to get down to that market. I'm going to have to get down to that farm. I promise I will. And Jay, you got this. And thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Eat your mushrooms. Keep your hands to yourself. And be kind to one another. But don't forget, be kind to yourself, too. You got this. Bravo. And we'll talk to you next time.
Take care.